In our Singapore Companies Act webinar, today we are going to see one of the interesting and key topics under Companies Act for any corporate law for that matter. And the reason for reduction of share capital under any act will be for extinguishment of any unpaid shares or cancellation of paid up capital which is not represented by its assets. And the intention of going for reduction of share capital primarily under any corporate law is for fair and equitable treatment, and also to protect the interest of creditors if there are any objections towards this particular scheme. The interest of creditors is well protected by asking for relevant objection, if any, from these creditors. With this brief introduction, let's get into today's presentation, friends. A sincere thanks to Aishwarya for this presentation. We are going to deal with Division 4, Part 3A today from 76A to 76K under Singapore Companies Act. Let's first see the reduction of share capital without the approval of court, and then the opportunity being provided to creditors for such reduction, and then reduction of share capital with the approval of court. Before getting into this section, let's understand what is the meaning for reduction of share capital. It refers to the process of decreasing the amount of company shareholders' equity. And it could be for various reasons: eliminating the losses, or reorganizing the capital structure, or simplification of this structure, or returning the capital, surplus capital, to the shareholders being the owners of the company. And because of this particular reorganization, the company's market cap is not going to get affected, but the number of shares outstanding will undergo change because there will be a reduction to the extent which remains unutilized. And capital reduction may also be performed due to decline in the company's operating profit, so that the company will try to protect its earnings for providing it to these shareholders who have paid up share capital, and hence for retaining these profits they will be going for this particular mechanism. And if the company does not have adequate distributable profits, it may reduce its share capital as it cannot afford for dividend payments in future, more to conserve the existing profits. And for reorganizing its capital structure, it also helps availability of distributable funds so that the company can maintain sustainable dividend payments. Now let's get into provisions. 78A deals with the modus operandi, which are the routes where the reduction of share capital can be enforced. Extinguishment or reduction of share capital in respect of share capital which is not paid up. I have 10 rupee issue price and my paid up capital is 8 rupee, and 2 rupee is called but not paid. And to that extent, I will reduce my share capital and I'll show in my books the paid up share capital only to the extent of rupees 8 per share. Cancelling any paid up capital which is lost or unrepresented by available assets. To the extent as shown in the liabilities, I don't have the equivalent assets to be reflected upon. Though it is shown as paid up, I don't have to that extent the bank or the cash statement as represented in the asset side, and hence I would like to cancel those shares which are not true representatives and return to shareholders any paid up capital which is more than the requirement. Such reduction shall be in consonance with the provisions of this particular division. We are going to see various provisions as applicable for a private company, first part, then for a public company, second part. There are only subtle differences between the procedures which are adopted for a private company and a public company. This will be a simple provision where it can be done and the reduction can be given effect to only with the approval of shareholders, and we're going to see what are the procedural aspects. Of course, by meeting the solvency requirement and publicity requirement as prescribed the ministry. Only few differences between private and public company, and then comes the objection, if any, raised by creditors, how it will be addressed. That will be your third segment. And the fourth and fifth segment will be when the reduction happens with the approval of court. Though it is a long-term process, few companies would still prefer to go for reduction through approval by virtue of court, because what if there is any objection raised by the creditors? How it is being redressed? And hence, the approval of court will act as the final verdict for such capital reorganization scheme. And friends, the solvency statement and the onus is more on the directors, and hence it may also extend to the extent of criminal liability, and hence due precaution shall be exercised by the directors while declaring for all these solvency provisions. We are going to see under these 5 scenarios under reduction of share capital. Such reduction, no doubt, shall be in alignment with the provisions of this particular division 3A of part 4, division 4 part 3A, and the company's memorandum and articles may either restrict any such power for reduction or additionally provide for any power. So the powers as conferred on the constitution over and above the provisions of this particular division shall be referred to by all the companies. There could be other methods which are not specified in the provisions of Companies Act. What are they? Selling company's assets and dividing the proceeds amongst members, surrendering shares to the company, refunding the money subscribed for shares to shareholders. In many instances, we have seen that the money is received as application money, but when there is no allotment happened, or when the allotment happens, it shall happen within such statutory time frame, and hence to comply with the provisions, you would like to refund the money, and when in need, you want to go for further issue of shares, in which case you will refund the money back to them instead of increasing your paid up capital or any other mode of reduction which are not expressly provided under Companies Act. Explanation under this section clearly defines reduction information, which we discussed in the introduction part. So any reduction shall be attributable to the special resolution passed, which could be for reduction of your paid up share capital, or and to that extent the number of shares will be cancelled. So in our illustration, we saw the 2 rupee per share, which was reduced by virtue of either your approval in a general meeting or with the order of the court, in which case the company will be showing in the books only 8 rupee per share. Resolution date. Under explanation, it is clearly said that resolution date when it is passed by the members is considered to be the resolution date. Why this assumed significance is because the solvency statement, they have clearly defined that it shall not be pretty old. So the resolution date is considered to be the trigger date to have the latest solvency declaration which is submitted by the company to the registrar. Not only that, for your seeking objection from creditors, everything, the relevant date is the resolution date. Hence, it assumes significance. There are 3 instances where this particular division is not applicable. 1, to an unlimited company. 2, for redemption of preference share, because it is specifically governed under your 70 subsection 1. And of course, when you are purchasing your own shares, the company is doing buyback. And buyback under Singapore Companies Act draws reference to 76B to G, where B is company may acquire its own shares provided it is by virtue of the constitution, and authority for off-market acquisition on equal access scheme shall be in advance by an authority in a general meeting. D talks about selective off-market acquisition, which is other than equal access scheme, and for contingent purchase contract or authority for market acquisition, D, A and E are subject to advance intimation by the company and agreement in a general meeting. These acquisitions by company of its own shares shall happen, and payment to be made only if the company is solvent, and reduction of capital on cancellation of repurchase shares. So in these 3 instances, unlimited company, redemption of preference shares, or acquisition of its own shares by a company, these 3 will not attribute to reduction of share capital. So these 3 are clear exemptions. We are going to see the first part, reduction of share capital without the approval of court, part 1 by a private company. 78B clearly says that subject to two conditions, a private company may reduce the share capital. A special resolution shall be passed. Condition 1 is to meet the solvency requirement. Condition 2 is to meet the publicity requirement as prescribed by the minister. Only these two conditions to be fulfilled. What is solvency requirement? As the name implies, the company shall declare that they are solvent and they can go ahead with the reduction of share capital more to protect the interest of creditors. All the directors of the company make a solvency statement in relation to reduction of share capital, and the statement shall be made in time. This is where the resolution date assumes significance. For a period of 20 days ending with the resolution date. So it shall be as fresh as not later than 20 days before the resolution date. If the resolution for reducing share capital is the special resolution to be passed by written means, it shall be under 184A or as per 184C, where the private company has additional privilege of circulating the resolution to members. And when the circulation happens, they have to also append the necessary material facts for going for this reduction together with the copy of solvency statement, which is very important in the case of reduction. This is the additional privilege available for a private company, and hence 78B is separately provided, and 78C is almost the same, but for the circulation of resolution and the solvency statement, where here it is 20 days, there it is 30 days. So barring these two subtle differences, all the other provisions of B and C are the same, which means for private company, public company, those two conditions of meeting solvency requirement and meeting the publicity requirement are the same. And if the resolution is passed in a general meeting, throughout the meeting, make the solvency statement available for inspection by the members. And throughout the 6 weeks, beginning with the date when the resolution is passed for this particular reduction, this particular copy of solvency statement shall be made available free of charge for any creditor of the company. This requirement will of course be ceased if the resolution is revoked, and validity of the resolution, just because this particular provision 78B4, that is your solvency statement obtaining approval from your members by a circulation together with your solvency statement and producing these copies for inspection by the members or creditors, if you are going to contravene the provisions when you are going for reduction, this does not invalidate the proceedings or the reduction of share capital. However, your officers who are in charge of this particular section compliance, if they are in default, they will be certainly guilty of offence. An exception to solvency requirement will be when the reduction or distribution of cash or other assets by the company or release of any liability owed to the company. If these two are not there, leading to reduction of share capital, in which case solvency statement is not mandatory, because this does not involve distribution of assets and this does not involve any liability release, any amount which is owed to the company. So it is not going to impact your creditors, in which case solvency statement may not be required. The same provision in 78C, as mentioned earlier, that circulation together with all the material facts, which is the privilege available for a private company, is not available here. Hence, public company shall obtain the special resolution approval by convening a meeting, and solvency statement, here the copy shall be made available with the date not earlier 30 days with the resolution date. There it was 20 days. And copy of the solvency statement, here it shall be filed with the registrar. In the case of private company, under 78B, you don't have that particular requirement, but subsequently, after obtaining your creditor's objection, at the time of filing your final verdict, at that time you may have to submit the solvency statement. But in this case, at the first instance itself, when you are obtaining the special resolution approval, you may have to attach the resolution copy under section 186 within 15 days beginning with the resolution date. Again, the validity of the resolution. Just because you contravene the provisions, this particular proceeding will not be invalidated. However, the officer will be guilty of offence. And again, the solvency requirement exceptions remain the same. 78D is right of creditor to object for this particular reduction. This is applicable both in the case of private and public company. The company which has passed special resolution in accordance with your 78B for private and C for public company. And any creditor has the right to object provided he raises the objection within 6 weeks beginning with the resolution date. An intimation, creditor shall give it to the company and company in turn shall provide this particular notice of objection to registrar. And eligibility of creditor will be, he should have that particular debt or claim. At the date, when the particular resolution date, he has that particular debt which is owed by the company to this particular creditor. Then it is admissible in proof. 78E, position at the end of the period for creditors' objections. There are 4 scenarios here. A private company where it has no objection from the creditors. Then it makes the life of the private company very simple. They have to meet only those 2 conditions, solvency requirement, publicity requirement, and there is no application from the creditor for any objection which is raised during the 6 weeks from this particular resolution date, and company shall submit the necessary documents with the registrar, which is the copy of the resolution in 186 and solvency statement along with a statement by the directors. So here comes this particular liability of directors. If they are going to make any misleading statement, then they shall be guilty of offence. Hence, it is important for the directors to take cognizance of the liability and declare about the solvency after verifying all the necessary facts and particulars of the company. A notice containing the reduction information. Reduction information being the number of shares which is reduced and what is the effect of this particular reduction in the capital of the company. This has to be lodged after the end of 6 weeks but before the end of 8 weeks beginning with the resolution date. And for a public company, almost the same structure in scenario 2, friends, but only difference will be here a copy of the resolution is required for a private company because we already observed under 78B they did not file their resolution, and hence after noting the fact that the company has had no objection from the creditor, they have to submit this particular copy of the resolution. But in public company, already they had submitted within 15 days from the passing of the resolution, and hence here mere statement by the directors confirming the solvency together with the notice containing reduction information is sufficient. That is the only difference between scenario 1 and scenario 2. Let's go to scenario 3. What if the private company has received objection from creditors? Then the company shall satisfy the following conditions over and above the 2 conditions which we have already discussed as thumb rule. Solvency requirement condition 1 and publicity requirement. Company shall notify the registrar as soon as an objection from creditor is obtained by the company and proceedings in respect of such application have come to an end and the particular application has been dismissed, which means there is a smooth closure, and hence the company can go ahead with this particular reduction scheme. And the company shall lodge with the registrar within 15 days beginning with the date on which last such proceedings. If there were 10 or 15 creditors and the day when the last proceeding, 15th creditor's objection was dismissed, that application was particularly taken care and it was completed with a smooth finish, then 15th day from the last proceeding, the statement by the director confirming the solvency, order of the court dismissing the application in relation to each of such application which is dismissed by the court, which means the 15th creditor's application which was dismissed by the court along with the notice containing the reduction information. Similarly, scenario 4, public company on receiving objection from creditor, they shall notify the registrar over and above the thumb rule 2 conditions, and proceedings in respect of each such application from the creditor have come to a smooth closure either by dismissal of this application as per 78F or without determination because creditor suo motu withdrew the application. and within 15 days, similar to your private company, within 15 days, beginning with the last date on which the last proceeding came for a smooth closure, director's statement, notice containing reduction information, order of the court dismissing the application shall be filed with the registrar. And all the resolutions shall take effect only when the registrar has recorded this particular information with them in the appropriate register. So, this shall be having conclusive evidence that the reduction is taken effective only when the registrar is taking this particular note in the register and not before that. Offences for making groundless or false statements, if a director is making, because director is providing all these statements of affirmative on the solvency position of the company, and hence if there is going to be any statement which is not true or where he has not believed it to be true, then he shall be guilty of offence under section 78E. If the statements required to be made under 78E are found to be false, then under 78J he shall be guilty of offence. Power of court when creditor has raised objection. Application made by the creditor shall be determined by the court, and the court shall order for cancellation of this particular resolution. If the resolution is not cancelled previously, if at the time of application where any debt or claim on which the application was based is outstanding, and the creditor and the court is satisfied that the debt or claim was not secured and the applicant does not have any other safeguard, and it is a case where security is necessary in view of the assets that the company would have after reduction, which means the company's assets are insufficient to take care of the creditor's obligations. If the above conditions are satisfied, then the court will dismiss. If the above conditions are not satisfied, then the court shall dismiss the application, which means if the above conditions are satisfied, then the court will certainly take it considering the facts on merits in the interest of the company. If the court orders for cancellation of the resolution passed, then the company must send notice of that particular order to the registrar within 15 days, beginning with the date when the order is made. If the company contravenes these provisions, then every officer shall be guilty of offence, and debt for this purpose will be something which is not discharged by the company. The liability is still subsisting and it is not terminated. So, if the debt is settled by the company before this particular declaration is made by the court, then this particular section will not be applicable. We have seen the provisions with regard to reduction without the approval of court and where the creditor is raising objection. Finally, we are going to see reduction of share capital with the approval of court. Reduction, of course, with a special resolution, but subject to approval of court. Company as an alternative mechanism to section 78B for a private company or C for a public company, along with a special resolution, can approach the court seeking order for reduction, and such resolution shall take effect not immediately after special resolution is passed, but when the company has complied with this particular provision 78I and the registrar has recorded the aforesaid information lodged with him in the appropriate register. So, in between that, company complying with the provision of 78I is the additional provision. Creditor, like how he is protected under reduction scheme without the approval of court, he is also granted protection when the approval comes with the court's verdict. So, applicability of this section will be either for reduction of liability in respect of unpaid share capital or payment to a shareholder of any paid up share capital. And this applies the court so directs. In any other case where a company makes an application under this section, the court shall settle the list of qualifying creditors. For this purpose, the explanation draws clear reference to who are qualifying creditors. They are creditors who at the date fixed by the court are entitled to any debt or claim. If at that date, where if it had been the commencement of winding up, their particular debt or claim was subsisting. if the proposed reduction involves either of the following, that is, reduction of liability in respect of unpaid share capital or payment to shareholder of any paid up share capital, then the court may, having regard to any special circumstances as it thinks fit, direct such class of creditors to be not construed as qualifying creditors, but only under special circumstances. Court, for the purpose of settling the list of creditors, qualifying creditors, shall take also cognizance of or the details like the name of the creditors, the amount which is subsisting for these creditors, and it may publish fixing a day within which this particular creditors list who have claim shall be settled thereto, and they have the necessary authority to give the relevant date for taking effect for the list of qualifying creditors. And any officer who is violating this particular provision with regard to determining the list of qualifying creditors and providing the necessary details as sought by the creditor, if they are going to intentionally conceal the list of these qualifying creditors or misrepresents the data or aids, abets or privy to any such concealment or misrepresentation, they shall be guilty of offence and they shall be punishable with a fine which shall not be exceeding 15,000 Singapore dollars or imprisonment for a term which shall not be exceeding 3 years. Once the court orders approving the reduction, how it takes effect too. On receiving the application, the court may make an order approving this particular reorganization resulting in reduction of share capital. If there is any qualifying creditor at the time of considering this particular application who is included in the court's list of qualifying creditors, which we discussed in the previous section, and whose claims were neither terminated nor discharged, court must not make an order approving this reduction unless it is satisfied that these qualifying creditors have given their necessary clearance for this particular reduction, or this debt or claim is sufficiently secured, which means they are secured creditors, not necessary to be secured creditors. Point 3 says that even if they are not secured, additional safeguards are necessary or prevailing in the company for backing them with the necessary assets to release their particular settlement or debt, even after this particular reduction is given effect to. If the court is satisfied of these 3 points, then they will order for this particular reduction. When an order is made by the court, then the company shall, within a period of 90 days from the date of receipt of the order from the court, file the same copy of the court order with the registrar. Along with this court order, they shall also submit the notice containing the reduced information similar to your 78 BC. 78K, liability of members on the reduced shares. In our example, we discussed that to the extent of the paid up capital only, these shareholders will remain liable. So to the extent of 2 rupee per share in our illustration, they will not be liable because they are that is given effect to by virtue of this particular reduction, which is either approved by court or by the shareholders by way of passing the special resolution. So the difference between the issue price, which is 10, and the aggregate amount paid up and the amount reduced on the share, which is, if it is already out of 8, they have paid to the extent of 6, then 10 minus 2, which is the court order, minus 6. Only for the 2, which is uncalled capital, they will be held liable as shareholders and not otherwise. I'll be glad to take your questions, friends, on this particular subject. Otherwise, we can conclude today's webinar.